Redistricting - 2021. When we open the public hearing, members of the public may address the redistricting subcommittee of the City Council regarding the item on this agenda. Pursuant to the Brown Act, the redistricting committee cannot discuss or take action on any items not on the agenda unless authorized by law. Those members of the public wishing to provide comment were asked to send comments via email to the city clerk at gharper@sealbeachca.gov or via the comment icon on the city website at https://www.sealbeachca.gov/government/agendas-notices-meeting-commission-meetings. I hope you got all that. Before 12 p.m. today. Comments provided via email by 12 p.m. today were distributed to the redistricting committee and posted on the city website for review by the public. Email comments received after that time will be posted on the city's website and forwarded to the redistricting committee after the meeting. Any documents for review should be sent to the city clerk prior to the meeting for distribution. Those members of the public wishing to call in can join the Zoom meeting from any electronic device by clicking the following link, https://zoom.us/j/840-691-33447. Or you may call in by dialing 1-669-900-9128 ##. Those members requesting to speak by phone or on Zoom can unmute by entering *6 when called upon to speak. Once in the meeting, you will be added to the waiting room until public comment period begins. At that time, the commenter will be allowed to join the meeting to offer their comments. Commenters will be allowed 5 minutes to address the subcommittee. The ability to comment will be disabled when your allotted time has expired. Those are all your instructions. I hope you've memorized them all. We are now opening the third public hearing for review of City Council.
We're not opening it quite yet.
Okay. This will be a public hearing for review of the City Council district boundaries. And City Clerk Harper, could you present the staff report, please?
Yes, thank you, Council Member Masalavat. Good afternoon, Redistricting Subcommittee members, Assistant City Attorney Chelsea Strauss, Assistant City Manager Patrick Gallegos, and members of the public. The item before you this afternoon is the third public hearing for review of City Council district boundaries. This is the second public hearing by the Redistricting Subcommittee for review of the city's draft City Council district maps. The purpose of the hearing is to take additional public input, if any, and provide a recommendation regarding the draft maps to the City Council. The following background information has already been presented to the subcommittee. It is repeated here for the benefit of the public. After every federal census, jurisdictions with district-based election systems, like the City of Seal Beach, must review voting district boundaries to ensure that the districts are still legally compliant. The Fair Maps Act, passed by the California legislature as AB 849, became effective on January 1st, 2020. And it provides that the City Council must adopt district boundaries using 4 criteria set forth in order of priority in the election code, unless a charter city has adopted comprehensive or exclusive redistricting criteria in its city charter. The Charter of the City of Seal Beach provides comprehensive redistricting criteria and specifies that voting districts must be geographically contiguous geographically compact, and provide fair representation on the City Council. These criteria are similar to the criteria articulated in the Fair Maps Act, but the City Charter's criteria are controlling. The Fair Maps Act process requires the city to conduct at least 4 public hearings, to seek input from the public on drawing the district maps, and at the end of the redistricting process, the City Council must readopt voting districts in time for the 2022 city elections. The deadline to adopt the map is April 18th, 2022. If no changes to district boundaries are required or deemed advisable under the substantially equal standard and city charter criteria, the City Council may readopt existing boundaries. The City Council held its first redistricting public hearing on December 13th, 2021. The City Charter Section 515 requires the City Council to appoint a committee to study the redistricting issue and report back to the City Council on the advisability of redistricting. At the first redistricting public hearing, the City Council designated 2 members of the City Council as a subcommittee to review the 2020 census data and the boundaries of City Council districts and report back to the City Council as to whether those boundaries should be adjusted based on the new census data or other factors. The City Council also authorized the city manager to engage a consultant or service to provide a population analysis of the 2020 U.S. Census data. On February 15th, 2022, the Redistricting Subcommittee held the second redistricting public hearing to provide members of the public with an opportunity to provide input on the composition of City Council voting districts based on the 2020 census data or other factors. During this subcommittee meeting, the Redistricting Subcommittee asked for clarification on specific statistics included in the National Demographics Corporation's population analysis of the 2020 census data for the city. The corrected version of that population analysis is included in the staff report as Attachment A. The corrected population analysis includes revised statistics regarding voter turnout November 2018 and Spanish-speaking households. The NDC apologizes for the data error that caused confusion on the previous version. Questions were also raised about individual data points listed on the previous version of Attachment A. The city's consultant at NDC confirmed that some population data provided by the Census Bureau is based on the American Community Survey, known as ACS, and it is incorporated into the population analysis by NDC. ACS is an ongoing survey the Census Bureau conducts to provide additional data on American communities. These data points are all provided by the Census Bureau. Because ACS has a much smaller sample size, some results may be unexpected, as some of the questions raised about the population of District 5 indicated. Exhibit A's indication that the Census Bureau reports about 9% of the population of District 5 is under the age of 60 is correct. That statistic is largely explained by the fact that most of that group is reported to be between the ages of 55 and 60, according to the NDC, and also could be skewed if a survey respondent had a young person living in their home, even temporarily during the survey period, and reported that information. The Census Bureau indicates that between 1% and 3% of the population of District 5 is below the age of 55, which is within the margin of error for the ACS. So there are people under age 60 living in District 5, but it is a smaller number. The questions regarding demographics in the population analysis are of interest, but ultimately do not affect the analysis of whether district maps are population balanced and comply with all the other legal requirements. This third overall public hearing is the third in a series of 4 public hearings to receive input from the public on the City Council district boundaries. After receiving any public testimony, the Redistricting Subcommittee should determine whether to recommend that the City Council adjust the existing boundaries of the City Council election districts based on the 2020 census data or other factors, or readopt the existing City Council boundaries, which comply with all applicable laws. Once the Redistricting Subcommittee reports back to the City Council at the 4th Redistricting public hearing on whether the boundaries of City Council districts should be adjusted and public testimony is received, all council members will have the opportunity to state their opinions and adopt a preferred map. As provided in Attachment A, the current total population of the city is 25,282. The ideal population for each district is approximately 5,056. A total of the deviations from the ideal population of less than 10% is generally considered de minimis and constitutionally acceptable. The city's total deviation from the ideal population is 7.18%, so the city's current district map is acceptable under the law. The current district map is attached to this staff report as the proposed draft map for readopting district boundaries based on the 2020 census data, and it is attachment B. However, the City Council may decide to adjust the City Council district boundaries based on its evaluation of how to draw district boundaries to achieve geographical compactness, geographical contiguousness, and provide fair representation on the City Council. Members of the public are free to submit proposed maps to the City Clerk during the public hearing process for subcommittee consideration. The schedule for the 4 required public hearings and the introduction and adoption of the ordinance readopting district boundaries are as follows. Public hearing number 1 with the full City Council was held on Monday, December 13th, 2021 at 7:30 p.m. Public hearing number 2, Redistricting Subcommittee, was held on Tuesday, February 15th, 2022 at 6 p.m. Public hearing number 3, Redistricting Subcommittee is happening right now at 2 p.m. Public hearing number 4, Council meeting final map selection, will be held on Monday, February 28th at 7:30 p.m. At the council meeting of March 14, 2022, there will be the introduction of the ordinance readopting council district boundaries. That is a tentative date. And then the second meeting in March on the 28th, there will be a second reading of ordinance readopting the council boundaries. Those are all tentative dates. The city has created a redistricting page on the city's website at https://www.sealbeachca.gov/government/redistricting-2021, which will be used as a central location for all information related to the redistricting process. The city is also reaching out to local news outlets to publicize the redistricting process and making a good faith effort to notify community groups about the redistricting process. Staff recommends that the Redistricting Committee receive the city's corrected population analysis of the 2020 U.S. Census data prepared by the National Demographics Corporation, open and conduct a 3rd redistricting public hearing of 4 to receive public input regarding the boundaries of potentially City Council election districts based on 2020 U.S. Census data as required by applicable law, and further review the draft maps, and finally recommend that the City Council adopt a map of boundaries for the City Council election districts based on the 2020 U.S. Census data or other factors. I will now call upon Assistant City Attorney Chelsea Strauss to address those outstanding questions from the February 15th meeting.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you. Good afternoon, members of the Redistricting Subcommittee of the Seal Beach City Council and members of the public. As City Clerk Harper mentioned, I will address the outstanding questions from the Redistricting Subcommittee meeting on February 15th. So there are questions about statistics in the city's population analysis regarding voter turnout from November 2018 in Spanish-speaking households. As City Clerk Harper mentioned, we discussed these questions with the city's consultant from NDC who prepared the analysis, and there are errors in the original document. NDC provided a corrected version of the population analysis, which is attached to the staff report for this public hearing as attachment A. The corrected population analysis includes revised statistics for voter turnout for November 2018 in Spanish-speaking households. There was also a question about whether District 3 includes those residing in the U.S. Naval Weapons Station. The proposed District 3 does include the U.S. Naval Weapons Station, as in the current boundaries. As mentioned previously, the proposed draft map for readopting district boundaries is identical to the current Seal Beach City Council district map. This proposed map does not show all current property lines within each district, but the map is color-coded to show the boundaries of each district. While many land uses were shown in the 2010 version, which has been duplicated for the proposed draft map, the city map has not yet been updated to show the precise location of all housing units. But the population of District 3 reported in the population analysis is correct. The population includes those individuals who reside in the U.S. Naval Weapons Station within the population of District 3 if those individuals reported their residence as being in Seal Beach when responding to the census. Note that some temporary residents might report their permanent residence as being elsewhere. However, the reported population of District 3 includes all individuals within the district boundaries who reported their residence as being within the city. Finally, there are also questions about individual data points provided in the city's population analysis and whether some of the data was from ACS, the American Community Survey. First, it should be emphasized that the total population figures for each proposed district are based on 2020 census figures and not on ACS. However, as noted on the population analysis, NDC has reconfirmed that some demographic data provided by the U.S. Census Bureau is based on responses to ACS and incorporated into the population analysis by NDC. As City Clerk Harper mentioned, ACS is an ongoing survey that the Census Bureau conducts that provides additional data on American communities. These data points are all provided by the Census Bureau. The ACS data provides demographic context to the estimated makeup of each district. Since ACS has a much smaller sample size, some results may be unexpected, such as some of the demographic data for District 5. But the total population, which is a statistic that's most relevant to the makeup of election district boundaries in Seal Beach, is based on 2020 census data and not ACS. And that concludes my responses to the outstanding questions from last week's Redistricting Subcommittee meeting.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the clarification. I still have a couple of issues, but we will go first to the subcommittee. Does the other member of the subcommittee have any questions that need to be answered? You're mute. You're mute.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to thank Chelsea also for the answers to my questions, and I appreciate her research and getting back to us. I don't have any questions at this time. Thank you.
Okay, I do. You know, I'm dyslexic, and when I see all these numbers on a page, my eyes just go wing wang somewhere. And it takes a long time for my eyes to focus. But when they did, it appears as though the census has us for 1,000 more people than the ACS. Is that something that happens frequently, ordinarily? And it's, you know, one's 24,285 and the other's 25,282. So is this just a discrepancy that really makes no difference?
Yes,
Question.
so the
Go ahead.
okay. So the ACS is a small sample size, so that explains the discrepancy in the estimated population.
Okay, and it's not consequential.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, it's actually, the numbers are fairly close.
And for voter turnout, once again, in 2018 and 2020, we had more than 100% people voting. I added up, tell me if I did it wrong, in District 5, I added up all of the numbers of the people that voted in 2018, and it came out with 106%. Oh, I think I know now. I know that there are more people registered to vote than voted,
Mhm.
then okay, never mind.
Mhm. Okay.
Take it back. Not a question anymore. But down housing stats,
Mhm.
go back to District 5 where it says 39% single family.
Mhm.
It's absolutely wrong. There are no single family houses in District 5, period, 0.
So I assume that would be due to the self-reporting through ACS, which would lead, and the small sample size, which could lead to surprising data points.
Well,
That
I think that if they put like 99% multifamily, they'd get it right. Because there's no single family here. So even if ACS did it, they did it wrong. You know?
so, but I understand what you're saying, but ACS is taking what those responding to the survey are saying. So it's based on the responses that people are providing, which could be incorrect.
Okay, I just hate to see such a large number on any kind of census material because it is so inaccurate, the 39%. So maybe for the next meeting, he can take a look at that again, and maybe he'll want to change it to something closer to 0. Because that's an actual fact. That's what it is.
So, but it's not the consultant's data. The consultant is analyzing the data, but the data has been collected through ACS. So
Okay,
he's
so
not able to manipulate the data that he has.
okay, I thought maybe he was combining things or able to not manipulate, that's not the right word, but to extrapolate some information that wasn't accurate. But this is, ACS says we have 39% single family in District 5.
That's the data we have. But ultimately, what is most important is the data from the US Census, which would be the total population and the deviation from the ideal population for each district that's provided at the top.
And
of this
that's really
analysis.
that's all we care about today?
Ultimately.
Okay, all right. I'll go for that. It just seems like it should be more accurate. Okay, and I'd like
But
to.
I will relay your concerns to the consultant.
Okay. Are there any other questions from the subcommittee? Councilmember Sistorsik? No?
No, not at this time.
Okay,
Hear from the public or
okay. Do we have any, City Clerk, do we have any members of the public on the call wishing to speak? Or have
No,
emailed?
no, we do not have anyone on the call and no emails were received.
Okay.
Oh, sorry,
So
did we open the public hearing?
okay, oh, didn't I say that? We will open the public hearing, and not hearing anyone wishing to speak, we'll close the public hearing. And if there are no more questions from the subcommittee, I'll call for a motion and a second to recommend that the City Council adopt the current district map as the current district map.
okay. I will make such a motion. I do have one comment, but that's all right. I'll make the motion.
Okay,
To adopt the current map.
okay, and I'll second it.
Okay. All I'm saying is I went through and actually, instead of deviations, just took it as percentages, and the difference really is fairly small. So I'm comfortable that it's, you know, de minimis or something. And I think your District 5 is probably the biggest variation, and it's not too much. It's like a percentage lower or something like that. But you do have more. I think you have more voters though, because everyone's no children kind of thing. But anyway, I'm comfortable recommending that we keep
Okay.
things the way they are.
Thank you. All right, and I will, did I second the motion already,
I think
Madam
so.
Clerk?
You have now.
I second the motion. At this time, based on the information we've received at this public hearing, we should give staff direction regarding the draft.
We have to take the vote.
Oh. Does it say that here?
Skip that part.
Oh, okay. All right, let's have a vote. Can you take the roll, please?
Yes. Subcommittee member Masalabit, how do you vote?
Yes.
Subcommittee member Sistarsik, how do you vote?
Yes.
Motion carries 2 votes. Yes.
Okay, and so this will be forwarded to the city council for future agenda, which will probably be the next agenda.
February 28th,
Oh, February 28th. Okay.
the 4th public hearing.
Oh my, yes. All right, is there anything else I have to say? And we just adjourn now, Madam Clerk?
Yes. If
Okay.
there's no other business, we can adjourn.
If there is no other business, and we will adjourn the redistricting subcommittee. Thank you for coming. Okay.